Good morning, everyone. I'm Ramya Devi, working as Assistant Professor in SNS College of Engineering. Today, I'm going to share a small article regarding WSDL. WSDL stands for Web Services Description Language. It is a critical technology in the world of web services, helping to define how web services operate and allowing different systems to interact with each other. WSDL is an XML based language used to describe web services. In simple terms, it serves as a contract between a web service and its clients. It outlines everything a client needs to know in order to interact with a web service, such as where the service is located, what operations it provides, what parameters it expects, and what data types it uses. So, if we think of WSDL as a blueprint that defines the structure and functionality of a web service, it ensures that different applications, regardless of platform or language, we can able to communicate seamlessly. Why is WSDL so important? In today's interconnected world, systems often need to exchange data across the internet. These systems can be written in different programming languages and run on different platforms. WSDL bridges this gap by providing a standardized way to describe the service in a language that all systems can understand. That is called XML. WSDL plays a crucial role in interoperability, automation, and standardization. So, WSDL ensures that clients and web services can work together even if they are built on different technologies. And many tools can automatically generate code to call a web service based on its WSDL file, which makes development faster and less error prone. It provides a clear, consistent structure for defining the interface of a web service, which is especially useful for enterprise level applications. A WSDL file consists of several key elements that describe the web service and how to interact with it. These elements define everything from the messages that are sent to the actual location of the service. So, these are the types, messages, and port type, binding, and service. So, the data types used by the web service, it specifies a format of the data that will be exchanged. For example, if the service takes an integer or returns a string, this is described here often using XML schema. Next is messages, which defines the input and output data for each operation. Each message contains a set of parameters and return types like a method signature in programming. Next is port type, defines the operations that the web service can perform. It's essentially the list of functions or methods that the service offers. For example, if it's a calculator service, you might have operations like add, subtract, multiply, and so on. Next is binding. The binding defines a communication protocol used by the web service such as SOAP or HTTP. This part tells the client how the messages will be exchanged. Next is a service. The service element defines the URL where the web service is hosted. This is the actual address clients use to connect to the web service. And this is an WSDL example. So in this example, so the first client where I can find a weather service. So the client needs a weather of a particular city and he does not know where I can find the weather service. So the discovery service offers there is a weather service in server B. So how exactly should I invoke you? So first we have to take a look at this WSDL file and then we can invoke the SOAP request. So we can invoke the get weather information with the parameter like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then the SOAP response is given back to the client with a chance of the weather report. So this is a structure of an WSDL document. Here there are definitions, types, messages, port type and then the binding and then finally the definitions are closed here. So the types contains the data types, the message contains the actual message and the port information and the type of operation and the type of binding the all the services together and which service are to be given. And then in the above example, the WSDL defines a service that exposes and for example, if we take an calculator service, we use an add operation. So the service expects two integer inputs and returns their sum. So the binding specifies that the service uses SOAP over HTTP and the service element tells us where to access the service. So the web service provider generates a WSDL file that describes the service. So the client accesses this WSDL to understand how to call the service, what operations are available, and what parameters to pass, and where the service is hosted. Based on the WSDL, the client can make requests to the web service, knowing exactly what to expect in return. So, WSDL is a foundational technology in web services. It acts as a contract that describes how to interact with the web service, specifying everything from the operations offered to the data formats used. Thank you.